Our mission here is to take a 100-mile radius from Seattle, collect all the ingredients we need from within that circle, and then in that final meal to prepare them in a way that makes them extraordinary. We're about enabling people to savor every moment in life. That really is our heart and our mission.
The Sahali idea came about while we were climbing Mount Rainier. We were very dissatisfied with the food.
And it was, dried beans and trail mixes and the nutrition bars. If you're in a beautiful place, you want to have beautiful food to complement it. So what we thought was if you could put like incredibly great tasting food in a pouch and then maintain these great flavors, then you could take it anywhere. Josh and I had been talking about doing some marketing. Talked to some advisors and consultants, and they wanted us to kind of do an advertising campaign in the more traditional sense. And we were moving down that path, and it just didn't feel quite right to us. We felt like it was not authentic. It wasn't really who we were. And it just struck me that why do we want to sort of concoct something? Let's just tell the story. Let's tell the stories and kind of live the experiences that are very authentic and genuine, and put together a trip and maybe take along some cameras and put together a crew of people who are great taste explorers and just document it. Seattle has such an active community of food enthusiasts. Immediately, we found sort of kindred souls.
It took about 2 minutes of them talking, and I was already going, yeah. Whatever you guys want, I'm in.
Eric Rivera is a soon-to-be star chef.
He's constantly making food.
It goes beyond just thinking of fusion. It's saying, well, I think it sounds good. It might taste good, and let's do it.
And that led to spearfishing.
Langdon Cook is an author. He's also a food adventurer. He'll dive in with a spear and see what he can find under the water.
You take the air into your lungs, and that's what you got.
So you never know what he's going to bring back.
We'd find these crabs, and they'd be scuttling along, and you'd dive down like a seal and just pin them to the bottom and reach around and kind of get them by the hind pinchers, right, and stuff them into the bag.
That's the kind of attitude he brings towards this stuff.
This is a good way to live.
I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life.
Jennifer Adler is a nutritionist. She's an explorer.
She's a seaweed expert.
She knows more about food nutrition than anybody I've ever met.
Kelp beds like this can be really ancient, hundreds of years in the same spot. And you can see it's called Mermaid of the Sea. And then what you have is gases, and that's what keeps it really close to the surface so that it can get the sunlight as well as the nutrients from the water. And yeah, you can eat it just directly like this. When I say seaweed, people go, ooh, gross, seaweed? So there is a hurdle. These foods just completely blow away any food that we can get in the grocery store. I mean, the average American eats about 50 foods, and if we just come onto this beach, we probably have over 50 varieties of seaweed right here.
This stuff is amazing. Look how thick this is here.
I know.
It's like a carpet on the beach.
So we have a combination of nori, and then we also have the sea lettuce. Both of these tend to grow right next to each other, and these are great to know about because they're single-celled seaweeds. And so what that means is that they're really translucent, they're tender. It's really unique in its texture and also how it's so thin and almost iridescent.
And in terms of flavor, not much flavor?
Try it.
Wow. That tastes really good.
Yeah, great.
Salty, has a slight taste of the ocean, but not fishy at all.
A lot of times people have the perception that seaweed is going to be really fishy, it's going to smell badly, but that's because people are used to seaweed that washes up onto the shore, but that's basically the compost pile. I mean, you don't judge somebody's garden by its compost pile. What were people eating 100 years ago? Because what people were eating 100 years ago, they were eating 1,000 years ago. I feel like I'm helping to empower people, to take food into their own hands. And what we want in that 90 minutes from when we say, okay, we're going to serve the meal, to when we finish the last thing we eat, is we really want to create the most exceptional dining experience on the planet for that point in time. We'll be successful when we finish that last bite over the top and say,
that was it. That's as good as it gets.
And the last kind of thing that you do with this dish is just pour the broth over it and let the kind of tide come in.
Here it
Butter,
comes.
wine, salt, shallot, and pepper.
This is, if we sit here and we look at the beautiful place we're in, the people here, and we wanted to capture the essential flavors, the taste of this place, this dish, maybe more than any other, really does bring it together.
Awesome.